Let me tell you something. If you haven't subscribed to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast, your sister's a hooah. I'm Rock.
And I'm Archie. Well, our opinions, they might not matter to some, but...
What are you doing in there?
It's a podcast.
Immature, crass, trashy. And those are their good qualities. These poor schmucks are a couple of IQ points away from eating paste. But when it comes to music, sports, and comedy, well, that's all they know. You're listening to
Not These Two Fucking Guys.
Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
Not too long ago, it was Valentine's Day, right? Got my wife some flowers.
You did?
Yes, I did. And I just want to let you know that red roses are a thing. Because if you don't get fucking red roses...
Ooh.
It's not a thing.
You got our dandelions?
Did you know that different roses have different meanings and colors? Like the colors of different roses. Did you actually know that they meant things?
I always thought that like red meant love. So other than that, I had no idea.
No, that's totally fine because red does mean love. And I obviously did not know that.
You bought her friendship roses?
So let me just tell you one thing. So a couple years back, right? Now, the past couple of years, I've been doing very well. Chocolate, red roses, so beautiful. She loves them. She loves them.
And the good part is it's not cliche either.
No, it's not. It's not. So what I tried to do to be not cliche, one year I go to the florist and I see
ShopRite.
Don't give away my fucking secrets on air. So I go to the florist. And I look at all these beautiful roses, and I'm like, you want to know what? Holy shit, there's a bouquet of peach roses. These things were gorgeous. You opened up the refrigerator, and it was like, oh. I was like, I'm not even joking around. These were the most beautiful bouquet. Say bouquet again, motherfucker. These were the most beautiful bouquet of peach roses I've ever seen. And I said, why do I have to be fucking cliche, right? And get red roses, and I'm going to get her peach. Because they're beautiful. No? Am I wrong?
I got to be honest. The amount of restraint I'm displaying right now of not wanting to say what I really feel is epic.
Well, I just want to say a couple things. Red roses, for people out there that know, and obviously I don't, right? It means love, passion, beauty. White roses are purity and innocence. And dark pink is appreciation. Well, guess what fucking peach means?
Go fuck yourself.
Peach means appreciation, closing the deal, get together in sincerity. So I come home and I bring these peach roses with me, and I'm fucking skipping. I'm like, she's going to love these. I'm like, they're beautiful. So I come walking up the stairs. This is before we got married. I lived at the apartment. I come walking upstairs. I open the door with the chocolate, with the peach roses, and I'm like, happy Valentine's, dogs bark, happy Valentine's Day. She's like, oh my God, they're beautiful. and I'm like, wow, is everything all right? Like, I'm like, she's like, oh, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. And I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great. And I was like, well, I thought that peach would be great. And she's like, yeah, no, they're great. So as the night went on, I think we got into a little bit of a tiff that night. Just a little bit.
Because of the roses? Or?
No, maybe other things. And the roses came out. The color came out. You got me fucking peach roses. What am I, your friend? So basically,
but did she have like her like rose like Dakota ring on? Like she was. I would never even know something like that. I wouldn't know to know
but
about
like,
that.
I feel like a schmuck for not knowing because it's like a whole thing about knowing.
I mean, you didn't get her like a carnation. You got her roses.
Yeah, I got her roses. And you would think if anybody got me roses, I would say, hey, he wants to he wants to hang out later. Put on something nice, a little peach rose, But all I'm saying is that the peach rose meant a lot from me. And she's very grateful. She's not grateful. She's not like a not grateful person. She's very grateful. Love her to death. But I will be getting her fucking red roses to the day I die.
So this is our second episode. Check out our website, notthesetwofuckingguys.com. The 2 is TWO. It's not the number. Social media, we're at NTTFGPOD. And if you have a question, a comment, whatever the fuck you have, NTTFGPOD@gmail.com. We'd like to hear from you.
You want to hear some fucked up shit?
Of course.
So the people, so we got this website going, notthesetwofuckingguys.com. I'm getting calls from like India on my phone, and they want to do like the hosting, or they want to do like the design, because we're on a list now because of the website, right? So all of a sudden, in the middle of the day, my phone rings, and I'm like, hello. All of a sudden, I hear, hello, is this Jason? And I'm like, yes. Is this not these two fucking guys?
Sir, language.
So I said it. I'm like, excuse me? Is this not these two fucking guys? And I said, I'm like, whoa. I said, sir, I already have Netflix. I don't need anything else. They're like, but no, sir, I'm calling about your not these two fucking guys. My God, they get pissed. But it's pretty fucking funny. Rocco.
Yes, sir.
I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
How long?
Since 2007, maybe?
All right.
It has to start somewhere.
It has to start sometime.
What better place than here?
What better price than $500 fucking tickets?
Here we go. All right, homeboy. It looks like we have the return of Rage Against the Machine. Dude, I said to a lot of peeps one day that this is a bucket list band. I've seen a lot of fucking bands. You know that. You've seen a lot of bands. This is a bucket list band. I'm just letting you know. I got to see this band when they come around.
I saw them back in the day at the Camden waterfront. Beautiful fucking neighborhood. They played with Wu-Tang Clan. Probably one of my top 5 favorite concerts ever.
That fucking show was probably ballistic.
It was awesome. Rage killed it, and I saw them in the city once too.
You saw them twice?
I did see them twice.
I did not see them at all.
This is like the first time I saw them in the city was back in the day.
Okay.
And what struck me about them was they sounded exactly like they did on the record, like live sounded exactly like the record, and that's what impressed me about them.
I'm always impressed with, obviously, Tom Morello and his guitar playing, of course. But I'm really impressed that, like if you listen to the recordings, obviously there's no, quite a few tracks. There's no rhythm guitar. It's just, Yep. You know what I'm saying? So, one of the things that I would love to bring up.
Hey, just on the sidebar.
Yeah.
You play in a Rage Against the Machine tribute band and you play rhythm guitar. Just an observation.
Other twice a year, I play in a Rage Against the Machine cover band. Yes, I do. And me and the other guitar player actually does a lot of the effects, and I play rhythm. And we are not even close to what Tom Morello is, so you need 2 fucking guitar players to play in a band. But it's a very good point, and I'm glad you brought that up. We will be playing another gig coming up soon, and we'll let you guys know.
Tell them the name of the band. Come on.
The name of the band is called Unlearn, and we are a Rage Against the Machine cover band, and we play the local area. We play once or twice a year, but I think we're going to be playing a little bit more that now Rage has made a return. There might be a little more of a demand to see the band. I mean, if it wasn't for our singer, Anthony Minervino, the band would be nothing because he fucking sounds like Zach. You close your eyes, the kid sounds like fucking Zach.
I would sell it as a huge bargain. You could pay $500 to see Rage Against the Machine, or $2.50, $2.50 to see you guys.
Yeah, exactly. And shout out to the guys in the band, John Catton, my boy Greg DeBeese, and Shawnee. So one of the things that I really, really, really like what they're doing is that they're cutting out 85% of the scalpers. How are they doing that? they're holding tickets back. So basically, every show that tickets are released to the public, they're holding 10% of the tickets back, and they're called, in quotes for you people that can't see us, charity tickets. Charity tickets are sold at $125 a pop plus fees. That's the most expensive ticket you will buy for Rage Against the Machine. But the fees are $5,000. No, but everything sold above that goes to a local charity in the city that they play in. So far, Rage Against the Machine has raised $3 million for local charities. I know they started to announce North America, but I'm sure in Europe, and they're doing it all over. I can't wait. I think I'm going to see him at Madison Square Garden. I have to. If I have the last seat in the last fucking in the house, I'm going.
That's pretty cool. I got to say this though. I know everyone has to make their money. Obviously, it's a reunion tour, so they're making like a ton of money. But like, I get holding back some from scalpers, or I still feel like. I thought I read that like 50% of tickets go right to the secondary market. You know what I mean? So Ticketmaster prices are ridiculous as it is. And then when it goes to the secondary market, you're paying sometimes twice, 3 times the face value of the ticket.
Yeah. So
like, it's harder and harder for like somebody to attend more than one concert. So like now, like this summer or the season coming up, you have Motley Crue out there, that huge stadium tour. You have Guns N' Roses coming around again, Rage Against the Machine. There's another big tour it's escaping me at the moment, but I mean, unless you're really independently wealthy, how the fuck do you go to the mall?
Very true. I will not be going to the mall. I will be going to one.
I'm going to the mall.
You make a good point. But at least what Rage is doing is that they're giving back. They're making it known. They could be swallowing up all this loot. You know what I'm saying? Like they could be making bank, but they're making their money and they're giving out. Now, to what you and I previously talked about and how we feel, the political aspect. I'm not a big political guy. I'm not into, if fuck Trump, love Trump, this and whatever they want to say. Listen, I want to hear the tunes. I want to hear them play. I want to feel the emotion of Zach back in the band and how, 90s rap rock should be. And I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. Opening up for them is a band, well, it's actually a hip hop duo called Run the Jewels. You ever hear them?
I have.
I believe Zach De La Roja, I think he produced one of their tunes. So they're opening up. Run the Jewels. If people that don't know, Run the Jewels, hip hop duo LP and Killer Mike. It's a super group. They were individual solo artists that formed. I think they were touring together. And Run the Jewels is LL Cool J lyric. So it's kind of cool.
Pretty cool.
Be seeing Rocky and myself at
the Madison Square Garden gig, August 13th.
Oh shit, I hear it. I hear it. Here it comes. Here it comes, Rocco. I hear it. What's the I hear the beef. What's the beef, bro?
My beef is this little sawed-off prick, Jose Altuve.
Oof. Go. I want to hear it.
The Houston assholes, as I like to call them now.
Houston assholes.
So, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, it's the 2017 sign stealing scandal, if you will. They were, when their batters were up, they were hitting a garbage can and
garbage can. Hitting a fucking garbage can in a hall that the batters could hear. Correct? That's yes. Right?
And from they had cameras somewhere there's cameras to a monitor.
Camera was stationed out in center field.
Yep.
There was a fucking guy between the dugout and the clubhouse
where the monitor was,
and they were hitting a fucking garbage can. Are you kidding me?
You look at 2017, they did the comparisons, how they hit on the road and how they hit at home. It wasn't even close. Like, they obviously did it. They actually admitted it. People have come forward.
Well, Jim Crane, I mean, he came forward and said, well, he pretty much said,
we're gonna get to fucking old Jimmy boy. They fired their manager. They fired the general manager.
Jeff Lunhow.
They fired their manager AJ Hinch.
Yes.
He was suspended for a year. I heard too. What the fucked up part is that he like tried putting a stop to it, but their assistant coach Alex Cora, who is now or was the Red Sox coach, was his bench coach. So him, Correa, and Carlos Beltran, who was actually playing on the team back in 2017, were like the two guys that pretty much came up with this, and they had more power than the actual manager because the players were following them.
Now, if I believe they were fined $5 million.
The owner gets fined $5 million, right? That's like he has that in his fucking ashtray in his car.
Gotcha.
So $5 million. They didn't take away their 2017 world title, which they should have.
How could they though?
Why not?
Are you just gonna have in the book of records? Nobody won that World Series that year.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. Now, believe me, I'm for it. I'm with you.
There's a first time for everything, right? So 1995, there was a strike. There was no World Series. Nobody won the World Series that year. Kind of like the same thing, a little different. So
and they lost their the first and second rounds.
They lost a couple of draft picks, which isn't really shit. Yeah. So all the players, right? None of the players got punished. So Jose Altuve in 2017 edged out our boy Aaron Judge for the MVP.
He did.
So Judge had a awesome year. It was his rookie year. The players don't get hurt, right? So the owner gets a slap on the wrist fine, $5 million, a couple of draft picks that probably wouldn't have panned out to be anybody anyway.
Well, what's his name? Manfred?
Rob Manfred is the commissioner of baseball, yeah.
So he said that, well, we're not going to pick out any players because we really don't know. So no players are going to get reprimanded for this.
But yet, so fast forward 3 years, Carlos Beltran retires. He gets named Mets manager in the offseason.
For what, a day?
He never managed the game. He got fired.
Yeah.
So like he was a player, but he actually suffered consequence for it. And then you have jerk offs like Justin Verlander, who like just throws shade at everybody. Oh, this guy did PEDs, and this guy did this, and this guy did that, but yet hasn't said shit about this. He always was yapping and talking.
Yeah.
Now hasn't commented on the
doesn't
controversy.
It go to show you how good Mariano Rivera was?
Yep.
You knew the cutter was coming. You fucking knew the cutter was coming, and you couldn't hit it.
And he couldn't hit it. Yep. Well, he's
just wanted to throw that.
He's one of the few definitive that you could say was the greatest of all time at his position, greatest reliever of all time.
So what do you think about our little boy Jimmy Crane?
So Jim Crane is the owner of the Astros, right? And so I listened to the whole press conference because I wanted to be angry that day particularly, and so he starts off by saying, he's like, "We're sorry, we broke a rule. I don't know if it didn't have any impact on the games." Okay, so let's examine that half-ass fucking apology.
Yeah.
We broke a rule, like didn't say we did something wrong or I'm sorry for it. We broke a rule and it didn't impact the game. How did it not impact the game? Look at the splits. Look at home and away, right?
Yeah.
So then I forget who the reporter was, but she followed up and said, "Well, Mr. Crane, how could you say it didn't impact the game?" And he said, "Well, I never said that." It was literally fucking 8 seconds after he said that.
Yeah.
That didn't. He goes, "No, I said I didn't know if it impacted the game." So he changed his stance. But I mean, everybody knows it did. The commissioner ruled. Listen, not to beat up Rob Manfred on this, but he levied some penalties against him, right? Suspended the manager wound up getting fired and stuff. But I really think that, so 2017, and listen, we're diehard Yankee fans. I'm not saying that the Yankees would have beat them, but the Dodgers in the World Series, I think they got more of a beef than anybody. I think they got robbed out of a World Series.
I look at it like, just think about being a little kid and just like looking up to all these players. Oh, well, my hero cheated.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, was it really cheating? All right, let me ask you a question. Altuve, it's a game game-winning home run against the Yankees on
That was
his
this
way
past year.
home. And who is the first in line to greet him coming to home plate?
Carlos Correa, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
He signals to say, no, holding his jersey. Don't rip it off. Don't rip it off.
Yeah, he's telling him don't rip it off. Actually wags his finger and says that.
Yeah. Now, Correa says it in the media. Oh, well, his wife's friends with my wife, and he said, don't rip off a shirt. She doesn't like that. Don't do that.
He's going to make her upset, yeah.
And on top of it, he's got a half-ass tattoo.
On his collarbone or something like that was unfinished. They didn't want people to see.
Yeah. Now, you just hit a game-winning home run against the New York fucking Yankees, and you're going to tell somebody on your way running home, no, don't take my shirt off. No. Bullshit. I don't know, dude. I mean, they say that there's no buzzers.
Yeah, so that was the whole thing. That was this year. So he hits the game-winning home run against the Yankees closer Aroldis Chapman to put them in the World Series, right? So the big thing is that they were warned about the sign stealing shit in 2017, so they had to adapt and do bigger and better ways. So the theory is that some of the players had buzzers attached to them under the jersey that would buzz to tell you location, tell you what kind of pitch was coming. Right?
That's fucking great.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they're really going after it here, right?
Jesus Christ!
It ain't the first inning. It's the walk-off home run. Put your team into the World Series. The first thing you're thinking about is don't rip my fucking shirt off.
If I hit the game-winning home run against the New York Yankees, I would have took my shirt off, my pants off, my ballines would have been fucking wagging down. Fuck that, dude.
It's funny. Gary Sanchez, the Yankees catcher, actually just said it in a tweet. He's like, if I hit the game-winning home run to put my team in the World Series, you can rip my fucking pants off if you want.
Well, this goes out to you guys, Houston assholes.
I think I have a bet going.
Okay.
I say no more than 2 at-bats before Altuve takes a pitch to the ear flap.
Well, obviously, here at Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast, we don't want anyone to get hurt.
No, but he should probably wear a suit of armor up to the plate.
Rocco, I am so excited today. We have our very first guest, member of the Friars Club, comedian extraordinaire,
The fucking hilarious,
the infamous
the notorious
Sean Morton. 1, 2, 3.
Let's fucking go.
I walk a 100-pound pit bull down the street. I'm a tough-looking son of a bitch, okay? I walk a 3-pound peekaboo down the street. They're looking for my husband walking behind me.
All right, everybody. What's going on? Oh, we are motherfucking recording. Oh, yeah. We have a good friend of ours by the man named Sean Morton, comedian extraordinaire.
We'll see if we're friends after this hour.
How you doing, Sean?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, we're good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Oh, very good. So we just want to say thank you, first of all, for coming down here and schlepping your ass all the way
My pleasure.
to Wayne, New Jersey.
It's beautiful, Wayne.
Yes, it is.
So funny. I pulled into the driveway and I'm like, this might be the wrong house because I was told to go to Rocky's house and like Rocky's a piece of shit. And like there's this like gigantic, beautiful house. I'm like, whoa, this is some weird Twilight Zone stuff going on here.
That's the first thing when he bought the house.
You think you were getting whacked?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. And then like he walks in with like a suit. I'm like, oh, something's not right. Something. This is a bad feeling.
So Sean,
Yes.
what do you have coming up, my man?
Coming up. Oh, listen, I'm a full-time comedian as of 3
right.
days ago.
Congratulations,
Yes,
brother.
I've made the jump. So I'm either going to be living in this garage very shortly, or I'm going to be buying the house next door. It's either one of the two. I have nothing in the middle right now.
I saw on Facebook you posted,
A lot of people are waiting for me to fail, but that just fuels me. So
of course.
you know how it is, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody's like really nice to your face and stuff, but there's a lot of that backstabbing, kind of shady stuff that goes on behind. So you just surround yourself with some good people, and those are the ones that pull you through.
Good to hear.
Yeah, I think you need that core group of people that like you're really tight with. Like we have that, and we've had that like growing up in like bands and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then there's like other bands like, oh, yo, great job. These fucking cocksuckers. How the hell did they get that show?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
all the time.
I had one of those humbling experiences like 2 months ago when I saw My Chemical Romance was doing the reunion tour. And I'm like, 20 years ago, they opened for my band at the Rec Room in Wallington 3 times. So not only did they open for us, then they take off and they become this gigantic monstrous band. They break up and are so big that they have a reunion tour that they're playing 2 nights at the Prudential Center, and I had to buy tickets for it too.
I would love to make it. I would love to make to that show.
Yeah,
bro, how good was the Rec Room back in the day?
I probably missed the Rec Room more than
My Chemical Romance. I missed the Rec Room more than My Chem.
Such debauchery at that place, man. That was such an amazing time in my life. Really was.
It was like kind of like out of the way. And like this is before like we played, there was like a ton of times, but it was before like navigation and
you had to print out MapQuest.
Hey, here's how you go. And one time we played there was the dairy across the street was on strike.
Oh wow, the dairy.
We had to give people a fucking detour of okay, you turn left here, but that place was like ahead of its time, and
really was.
If it was a different location, it'd probably
Great
still
room, great floor, great stage.
I fell off the stage.
No, you didn't.
I totally did.
Stop it.
Face first. Opened up for DRI on a Sunday night. So imagine like
DRI.
300 skinheads at a show. And my band was just a regular rock band, generic and stuff. And I tried to be all hardcore and heavy. And I put my foot in the monitor. I'm like, are you ready to rock? And I missed the monitor. And I just went face first off the stage. And that's like a 4-foot high stage, too.
Yeah. Oh, it's a big stage.
There was no coming back from that at all. I think we did 4 songs and just walked off the stage. It was horrible.
God. The fucking blunders throughout the years. There was a place called Screwy Louie's.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Party.
The stage was 3 inches off the ground.
I remember that
I
place.
hopped off the stage. I slipped on a puddle of beer and I landed on my back.
That place was hot, too. If you play in the summertime.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the Step Kings there and Bob, the bass player, who like that manages Fall Out Boy now.
Okay.
Bald guy. I can remember seeing steam coming off his head. It was so high. We took a picture and you can actually see. It looks like a dragon. Like there's actual flames coming off his head. It was like 150 degrees in that place. It was disgusting. That was the original Tequila Joe's.
That was.
Yep.
Yes. Tequila Joe's. Studio One.
Can't talk about that place.
My brother brought me there. I think I was underage, and he got me in, and we saw Ace Frehley at Studio One. It was fucking. I'll never forget that show ever in my life.
We used to just hang out there. Like we would just go down in the basement when it was rock night, and there would be times like they would turn the lights on 2 o'clock. It'd be people banging in the corner, just doing coke on the bar. Just
some raunchy shit
just
throughout the years.
And that was like 3 floors, right? It was like 3 floors.
Basement,
like,
regular, then the top floor.
Yeah, and it had like the fucking. You walk in, it's like it was the '80s weird room.
Yeah,
midgets on horseback. There was a dude with a fucking saddle that you used to ride him.
Pony Boy, yeah.
Do you imagine all those years I drank out of those? He would come with a bottle of fluorescent fucking weird, and he would pour it into your mouth. Fluorescent. Why am I drinking fluorescent fucking liquor from this guy?
Little did you know you were getting roofied the entire time.
You got roofie before roofie was cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And nothing like pissing in a fucking trough of ice.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, Tequila Joe's, how we miss you.
We really do. Just to go back one time. Just once.
So, Tierney's.
Yes.
Rocky and I and Rocky's wife, we went to come see you at Tierney's.
Yes, you did.
And we really enjoed it.
And I bombed.
And you want to know what? Thank you, because it worked.
Dude, it was hell.
I fucking bombed,
I
bro.
bombed horrible. Look, listen. Here's the thing. Like, you guys are in a band, and I was in a band. So when you have a bad set, you can always go, Tim's off. You know what I mean? Because usually that's what it is anyway. So, but like when you're on stage and you're doing comedy by yourself, and you know that it's not working right, there's nobody to blame. So it's my job to get out of it. And I just, listen, you can say what you want. That was your first time seeing me. I appreciate you guys coming out. You guys got a 3 out of 10 that night, if that. But the next one was a 10. So that's all that matters. Move on to the next.
We can say this, like, and I know you said it that night, and then you posted that you thought it was a shit set.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, it was fucking great. Like,
no, it was horrible.
If that was
so
a shit
bad.
set, I mean, I can't wait to see like.
That was a bad night.
Going back after that show, and after that post, I did read that post, and I was like, this kid's fucking nuts. I said to myself, I'm on stage with this fucking crackhead over here, and I'm like, the amplifiers were too loud, or, you know, like, you can't even hear me. I flubbed up 5 notes. Doesn't even matter. On stage, you're by yourself.
It's true. It's very true. Like I remember shows with my band where like I can hear my drummer behind me, and I remember this at Connections in Clifton.
Absolutely.
30 seconds in, I hear him hitting his snare and clang, and he just went right through his snare because he was drunk before the show. And so he's playing a tom instead, and all of a sudden I hear, motherfucker, and I turn my head and I see a snare flying past my head. So like I blame that night on him, you know, but like when you're up there by yourself doing comedy, it happens. Once in a while it's the crowd. It was a little bit of the crowd that night, but it was mostly me.
So talk about that. Like so when you feel like you're bombing, whether it's you feel like you're not, you know, it's you or the crowd's flat, like what goes through your head? Like is the first reaction, I would just want to run off the fucking stage right now.
No, I'm too far into it to run off. I'll never run off a stage. Like if the ship's going down and I can't steer that ship, you're all fucking going down with me for the amount of time that I'm going to be on there. But normally I could turn it around, but it's just something just wasn't vibing. It was like everything I was trying to do wasn't working. I pulled out every card trick I could. And it happens. And then the next show was great. So you move past it.
God, refresh my memory. 68-year-old guy.
Dude.
68-year-old guy talking to the guy. What's your secret to marriage? Oh, we don't talk. Oh, that's great. That's a secret? No, my wife has advanced dementia and she lost the ability to talk. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it was just hard.
That was hilarious.
Oh, it was great. That happens to me all the time. But like normally I could pull myself out. And the one before was like, where'd you meet your husband? I don't want to tell you. You have to tell me. No, I don't. Yes, you do. For 3 minutes going back and forth. I'm like, just fucking tell me where you met your husband. Yeah. She's like, at his brother's funeral. I'm like, well, I got nothing for that either. So. But normally, like, I'm prepared. Like, I'm ready to go, you know.
Now, which leads me to a next question. Do you have, like, little setups as far as, like, you know where this is going to go when you ask an audience member a question? Like, you know how to steer?
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of crowd work to begin with, but I also have a ton of material. So if I feel like I want to engage the crowd and bring them in, I'll kind of ask an old married couple how long they're married, and then I can go into some marriage material. Or if I see a young person, I'll make fun of how young they are, and then I'll do stuff about me being out of touch with the millennial generation. So in a way, it's not scripted, but like I will steer the ship to the way I want it to go. But then sometimes I just throw the whole script out of the water and I'll just talk to the crowd and we'll just listen. It's either going to be memorable one way or memorable the other way, and that's how it's going to be.
Have you ever had any experiences where you're just like, these people aren't laughing? Like nobody's laughing.
Oh yeah, that's happened a couple times. Yeah, I just did a private show a few months ago. This guy hired me like 2 years ago, Jewish guy, and like real Hasidic Jew, like during Rosh Hashanah. Was it Rosh Hashanah or Passover? Sorry, whatever, one of those fucking holidays. Yeah. But it was all guys. So like, and I'm like, this is like 30 Jewish guys. What am I going to talk about? So I ripped on them, and they loved me. They hired me back the second time. Same thing. I'm like, you guys are going to hear the same shit because I ain't writing a new hour for you just for you guys.
Yeah.
So they're like, we don't care. Just make fun of us. And I did the same thing. So he hires me a third time, and I'm thinking it's the same thing. It wasn't. It was actually for the company that he owned, and he owned a hospice company. So I'm working for all hospice employees, like people who are seeing dead people or half dead people all day long. Therapists, physical therapists, nurses. And it was like 6 o'clock. So they just got off shift. And I don't, normally my demographic is women, okay? And for some reason, females tend to like me more than men do. It was 27 females and 4 men. They fucking hated me. They did not, they wanted a juggler, they wanted a balloon animal, they just did not want me there at all. And again, I had to do an hour. I knew 3 minutes in, this was going to be the longest 10 years of my life. It was just horrible. I took the cash and I left. He had this big, huge spread of food. He said, come on, eat. I'm like, nope. I stuffed Burger King down my fat face on the Parkway just to get out of there.
I couldn't imagine because I've hid behind drummers and I've hid behind whatever throughout doing those gigs, but I could not imagine like if I had to. I always said to him, I was like, one day I would just love to like maybe take like 6 months and write some material and just go to an open mic and see how good you do.
I tell everybody to do that.
And maybe light yourself on fire.
Yeah, I tell I don't have that career that is normal, and I tell everybody this. I did stand up for the first time at 32, so I was very late doing stand up because I was in a band forever, and then when you're in a band for a long time, then you stop. You get that creative thing that starts eating at you. Like, I got to get back on stage. I got to do something. And I said, I got to do something by my 32nd birthday. And I drove past my house. There was a comedy competition. There was a big sign. So I called the guy. He goes, "Do you have 5 minutes?" I go, "Of course I got 5 minutes, right?" And I'm like, well, I don't have anything, It was 4 days. So I had to write 5 minutes of material in 4 days. All my friends come out, like 35 people come out. It was 250 people at this competition. I came in second place.
Really?
My first night.
That's
but
awesome.
Again, I brought a lot of people.
Yeah.
Shows, whatever. But it was still good. I got the video. It wasn't bad for my first time. My second show was the back of a bar in Secaucus for 3 people. So it's like, it's tough. It is very tough. But, look, there's nights where it's magic, and I could literally shit on the stage and they'll just give me a standing ovation. And there's nights where you think you are George Carlin and nothing you say is going to turn them around.
Writing 5 minutes of material. Mm-hmm. How many pages is that? I mean, it's 5 minutes sounds like it's like not much time, but when you're up there by yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of time, but like I don't write anything down. Like I write little notes, and that's my problem because I don't write out full bits. And like sometimes I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'll be like, I'll just look at my phone and here's like prostate exam and making it last longer. I have no idea when I wrote that. I don't know what it's about, but I wrote it at 3 o'clock in the morning thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be a great bit. And I fall asleep and I'm like, what the fuck is sucking a whale dick have to do with anything? But yeah, I do. Some people are meticulous where they just will write out word for word. They write out their pause breaks and everything. I just go with the flow. I have an idea. I work it out. Like you were there that night at Tierney's. I tried a joke for the first time. I like it. You saw it very raw, not worked out. Just the thought that I had in my head. Now I keep working at it. I've changed some of the wording, so now it flows a little better. I've changed the cadence, the pausing. There's a whole art to it.
There is.
And everybody's art is different, which is the crazy thing too, because everybody's style is different. So I've got my voice now. It takes 10 years to get your voice. Everybody says it takes 5 to 10 years, and they're absolutely right.
Gotcha.
Because when I first started, I was just mimicking all my favorite comics. Jim Norton and Bobby Kelly, all the Opie and Anthony comics.
Yeah.
That's how I got into comedy. I was mimicking them, and it just takes you a long time to get that confidence to really just talk the way you want to talk.
Gotcha.
You can learn how to play Cemetery Gates on the guitar. I mean, you really can't because you're a shitty guitar player.
No, he fucking can.
Well, like even Tim. Like Tim. When I've seen him in other bands do Pantera stuff. He knows the notes. He knows how to play them. But it's his style too. And he throws in different dives and fills and stuff like that. So it makes it his own. So it's kind of the same thing. Like you can mimic your favorite artists and stuff, but in the end, it's got to be yourself.
You write a joke. You try a joke out of Tierney's, like you said. 3-4 months, it evolves into just something not different, so to say, but like it just evolves.
Oh, they always evolve,
right? Like delivery is a little bit different.
Absolutely.
You're working in the feel of it. Like, do you notice how your jokes evolve?
And there's also things too. Like if you have a whole idea of a joke, like I have a joke that I wrote like 8 years ago that I bailed 8 years ago. It was fine. It was fun, whatever. But now I have more material that kind of coincides with that, so I'll bring it back. So now I'm not doing a joke. I have a whole chunk of material. So it could start off as one joke being 2 minutes long. If I have other tag jokes I can add on to it, it's a 10-minute bit. So if I have to only do a 10-minute city spot, I'll just take that 10 minutes and do it.
Gotcha.
So it all evolves into...
Yeah.
It definitely does.
Real quick, by any chance, do you know if you're getting a delivery of fucking dogs today? Just wondering.
Is there a Chinese food place around the corner or something?
Just wondering.
Koreans moving next door.
I don't know what the fuck his problem is today.
You can talk during this whole podcast too. You're just sitting there looking all cute. Looks like Elliot from ET with that little hoodie sweatshirt on.
So, you said you don't write anything down. Like, obviously, we write down like a set list when we play. We actually write down like what we're gonna do in between, like what I'm gonna like.
Yeah.
A little riff of what I'm gonna say in between the song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you remember like the bullet points? Is it just like
I kind of know where I'm gonna start. And it's usually when I start, it's usually newer stuff that I'm comfortable with, that I've worked out. So I want people to hear the new stuff first, and then I could kind of trail off to either stuff that I've been doing for a while. And, again, that's another thing too. You guys can play the same songs for 10 years. I can't do that. I have to keep constantly writing material because you can come to a show 6 months from now and say, hey, I remember that Kid Rock joke that he did it again. All right, no big deal. But if you come another 6 months from now, if I'm doing it again, then there's something wrong.
This guy ain't writing new shit, huh?
Yeah. Well, I can tell you a story. I worked with this guy years ago in Pennsylvania, and I was kind of green still, so I was hosting the show, and I go, hey, you want a light? And he goes, I'm a professional, I don't need a light. I'm like, okay, no problem, you're a dick. Yeah. So Friday he gets up and he's supposed to do 45 minutes. He does 45:01 from start to end. I'm like, this guy's a machine. So the next night I go, okay, do you need a light? He goes, same answer as last night. I'm like, all right, he's a real dick. Goes up again, 45 on the dot.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, this guy's ridiculous, but it's the same act from word to breath, everything. Late show, someone heckles him. So now I'm like, this is amazing. He's going to be thrown off his set. 45:02. He knew exactly how much time to cut out of his set.
Wow.
But that's just being a robot, and that I don't like that at all. You guys can vary up a set list depending on what you're feeling that night, but for me, it's like I don't want to do the same set over and over again. Like when I work at the Hard Rock in Atlantic City, I was only doing 20 minutes a night. I'm not going to shot glasses over. 20 minutes a night for 4 nights. So I like to test myself. I'll do a different 20 every night.
Okay.
Just to keep it fresh. Because, it's for yourself too. It's not just for the crowd. You don't want to be a robot. You want to actually have fun and engage with the crowd and make yourself feel good too.
Do you know, so if you have a 20-minute set, do you say, I'm going to devote 10 minutes or 5 minutes to crowd work?
It depends. I probably won't do crowd work at that if it's that short. Depending on what I'm doing. If I'm hosting, it's all crowd work. If I'm doing the middle spot, I'll do a little bit. But if I'm headlining and I have free reign to do 45 minutes to an hour, I'll do whatever I want. I'll do half an hour of crowd work, half an hour of material. I'll do all material. It doesn't matter.
What's the mindset of a comedian doing a hosting or doing your set?
The hosting is the most important job on the planet as far as comedy goes, because you set the pace and the tone for the whole show. If I'm headlining, it's my responsibility to be good. But if your host sucks, the whole show sucks. So if I'm hosting, I'm a very different comic than when I'm headlining. I'm very high energy. I'm very in your face, in the crowd. Aggressive, getting them going. Don't put your phone down. I've taken people's phones out of their hands and put them in my pocket. Like I really have. Yeah. I'm very in your face. So if I'm booking a show too, I only have a few people that I use to host because I know that my show has to be good. And I don't want it to fail from the beginning. So I only have a few certain people that I use. It's a whole art to it.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Middle spot is the best spot.
Okay.
I think it's the best spot because if you're on the road, you can go, do your set, and you're done. You don't have to wait for an hour for the headliner to be done. You're already 4 drinks into the bar before the headliner's even done. Or if you're 2-hour drive, you do your spot. I got my check, I'm going home. And then and by the time he's done, you're halfway home.
Gotcha.
It's the best spot, but it's not the best money. The headliner makes the best money.
Yeah.
We feel that way in playing in bands. It's like the middle band, you get like the crowd from the beginning, you get the crowd for like the headliner. It's like you get like, sometimes you play for the most people. Oh, sure. Because like a comedy show, generally, you're playing, the opener's playing for the same amount of people as the headliner is. With
very
bands,
different.
I'm going to see my friend's band, and I'm going to screw after that.
Oh, we were talking about this on the podcast that I do. Is like we have a friend who works at Starlight, my friend Chris.
Please plug the podcast.
Tell us about your podcast.
So the story is, I'll text him and I'll be like, so give me the set times. Like, why? I need to know how much I can drink before I have to go in. So like if you guys are playing, like the one time we saw you at Starlight, we made a point to get there early.
Thank you.
I never do that. I don't do that. Like for now, it's like unless there's a really strong opening band before the headlining band, I'm drinking outside. Or you know what I mean? It's tough. Yeah. It's just tough. But like, I always tell people too, like, and my buddy Scott said the same thing on the show, go early because you have no idea what band you're going to see. They could be a band that's that close to being signed. And then you could say 2 years from now when their album is out and it's, selling 2 million records, you saw them playing in front of 30 people.
Do you remember 92.3 Lodo shows, 92 cents?
Oh my God, they were amazing.
I drive down to Belleville Turnpike, the Belleville Ave. I go buy tickets from Suncoast Video or wherever the fuck that was. I went to go see. I was like, there's this band that's coming out. I hear them on SOU. Band's pretty good. Godsmack. I think they're going to be good. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Band called The Flies open up for them.
Right.
They had like one hit.
I was at that show.
Do you really?
Yeah. Used to go to every Lodo show.
14 people.
Oh yeah.
So that show, I remember going. I went to go see Godsmack, and I liked their one Moon Baby, that one song that's on SOU. I get there, and I'm like, well, there's not that many fucking people here. I was like, let's check this band out. Fucking awesome. Sully throws out a T-shirt, and nobody else to fucking interfere. I caught the T-shirt, you know.
We saw so many bands of those shows too. Like I remember standing next to my friend, and I was like, this band is going to be huge, and it was Linkin Park, and they were the first band on the Lodo show. I think it was like Linkin Park, Disturbed, and somebody else. I forgot who the band was, but those shows were great because you could see 3 totally different bands.
Yeah,
I went to one. It was Chumbawamba.
Yeah.
Remember that? Horrible. And Seven Mary 3.
Seven Mary 3.
And they were the headline.
They got like those 2 good songs that I really like.
They were really, those 2 were fantastic.
And I think is it Cumbersome?
Cumbersome and something else.
Yeah.
And the other one.
Yeah, the other one.
It was Cumbersome and Cumbersome.
Yeah, basically. But those shows are great though because again, now it's if you go to a concert, I mean, I can't even tell you how much money I've spent just for this summer alone.
I follow you. You go to a lot of shows.
I go to a lot of shows. Well, comedy's always dead in the summer.
Oh, really?
It's notoriously dead in the summer.
So we're seasonal with comedy.
Yeah, it's tough to make a living in the summertime.
Really?
So I've got so many shows. Now we're just going to enjoy the summer.
Okay.
But it's still great because now Groupon is here. So there's no more 92.3 Lodo shows. But like any show that's announced for PNC, don't ever buy tickets. Just go on Groupon.
Really?
Because the day they go on sale, they're on there for $20. And it's amazing. So now we're going to Disturbed. We're going to... what's that band? Rage Against the Machine. Guns N' Roses.
We're jacked about that one.
That's going to be a great show.
This is something I 1 or 2 times a year I play in a rage band.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, and to fucking see them, this is I want to catch this. I don't,
Have you ever seen him before?
No. This is my man over here has seen him like
with Wu-Tang.
That's the craziest show I ever went to in my entire life at the arena.
I went to it like back in day. I want to say it was like 95, 96 at the Camden Waterfront. Oof. Fantastic area if you're interested in buying real estate.
Exactly.
Dude, one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, well, I was impressed with them was they sound exactly like they do on the record. They do. Like, exactly. Like, note for note, vocals.
Yeah, I'm psyched about this one.
That was a very strange experience for me because I was on the rail watching Wu-Tang. Right. And I'm not a huge rap fan, but I appreciate it. I know they were big.
Yeah.
And I'm watching them. I'm like, all right, they're pretty good. And then Rage comes on. I'm still on the rail. And then the pits start breaking out. And I've told the story a million times. I guess Wu-Tang's demographic kind of saw what this moshing was, and they didn't know how to do it. And they were just beating the shit out of everybody. And I got pushed from the rail.
Oh, I know what this is.
I got pushed from the rail all the way to the back within 2 songs. I was like, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
I used to work there at the arena. I'm like, dude, I got to get a seat. So they put me up all the way up to the top. But that was chaos at that show.
Oh, yeah.
That's when Zach broke his ankle that night, too, on stage. But yeah, it's good. And it's on my birthday this year.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice birthday gift.
It is. It's a very expensive birthday present.
Yeah.
But who cares?
Well
it's only
worth
money.
it, though.
It's only money. I'm a full-time comic. I have tons of money. Jesus Christ.
Was that a Lambo you rolled up in tonight? Or,
You're close. A RAV4.
So, Friars Club.
Yes.
Talk to us about the Friars Club.
Friars Club is great. It has a lot of history. If you ever watched the Dean Martin roasts,
yes,
that's where they were at the Friars Club. Okay. So it has I'm gonna say ancient. It's a very old comedy fraternity, and you have to be inducted, which is different. It lost its luster a little bit, but they're trying to bring it back with a younger demo a little bit. Beautiful 6 stories townhouse in the city. I roasted Gary Busey there.
That's awesome.
2 years ago. Almost got killed. He threatened to kill me.
Did you really?
Yeah, he's batshit crazy. He's absolutely batshit
He
crazy.
didn't understand
No, he did.
the concept of a roast was?
No, he did. He just didn't want to hear it. And he threatened to electrocute me with a cattle prod. He was absolutely nuts. But it's very cool. It's you guys are sports fans, so you'll appreciate, and you're musicians. And I've said this before, only 3 other times it ever hit me. Old Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, and then this place. When you walk into it and you just get hit in the face with spirits. Like you just feel the history.
You can just feel it when you walk in.
You know Don Rickles like took a shit in this place. Like it's just one of those but it's like it's huge. It's all old wood and it's like 6 floors and like I just don't belong there at all. Like I feel like an outcast every time I go there, but it's an amazing place. And if you guys own sports jackets, I'll actually take you there for drinks one night. Like you actually have to wear a jacket every time you walk in there.
Okay.
And if you don't, they have a whole rack that say Friars Club on the breast. Like that dumbass situation always goes there now and doesn't bring a jacket. It's like he walks in, yo, can I get my coat? And like they have to bring him a jacket. It's it's a disaster.
He's a winner.
Now, any like cool run-ins there? Like any good stories as far as?
Not so much. I mean, in the city, you bump into comics all the time, like bigger name comics. Like one time I went down to the Comedy Cellar, and there's a cafe up top. And Comedy Cellar is probably the biggest club in the country if you really think about it for comedy. It was Chappelle, Chris Rock, Dave Attell, and somebody else big. It was Charlie Murphy at the time. He was still alive. And they were all up there. And I knew Dave Attell, so I was like, what are you guys doing up here? He goes, we're waiting. We got bumped. I go, who the hell bumped you? He goes, John Mayer. It's because John Mayer was doing comedy, and he's not that bad, actually. He's really not that bad. He's personable. But he bumped 4 of the biggest comics ever and did like an hour downstairs.
Really? So being a great guitar player, being handsome, and every fucking girl wanting him, it wasn't enough. He needed to be a fucking comedian, too.
Something you guys have never said before. Handsome, good guitar players.
These are foreign terms.
Please let me tell you, Dave Attell is one of the funniest motherfuckers I have ever seen live.
Yes.
Or just bumping mics. Please.
Oh, amazing. Oh, Jeff Ross is amazing, too.
I called him. I think there was like what? It was like a 3-part episode, 3 parts.
Something like that.
Series. I called him right afterwards. I was like, you need to watch this right now.
It's great.
Go home from work. Watch this right now.
And ask any comic, and they'll tell you ask them who their favorite comic is.
Everyone
will tell you it's Dave Attell.
He's so fucking witty.
Yeah, he's brilliant. And he's just humble, and he's like this old Jewish curmudgeon. But like, I saw him one time, like just on stage. I went to the Cellar to see him, and he's just doing his bit, and then he just starts going, "Cunt, AIDS." Sometimes words are funny, and then just goes back into his bit. I'm like, that's hysterical. Why can't I do that? Yeah, he's great.
Insomniac was one of my favorite shows of all time. Like just because he was so like quick-witted.
His other show, Dave's Old Porn. Did you ever see that?
That was good too.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Hysterical. Just sitting around watching old porn and critiquing it.
I have to say this one thing. I feel like such an asshole, but we went to go. All right, we went to go see him at Caroline's, and a bunch of couples. Right. I listened to his album over and over. I fucking love him, and I got drunk, and I fucking.
You went at him?
No, I didn't. I fucking finished one of his jokes.
Oh no!
He stepped on his punchline.
I would smack you with his dick.
He looked at me. I was like, I forget what the setup was, but like elf cum. What is it, elf cum? Right. So he's like this and this, and I was like a fucking 14-year-old little girl. I was so jazzed. I'm like inside. I'm like, he's doing the joke. He's doing the joke. I'm like, wait for it. And I'm sitting there. I'm like. Elf cum! He's like, he looks over, he goes, thank you. And I was just like, that's bad. That's bad. Don't do that.
Don't ask for a picture after that either. Oh, that's great.
Do hecklers help the show?
You need to learn quickly what kind of heckler they are. I've had bad ones. I had one try to pull a gun on me one time.
Oh.
Well, it wasn't really a heckler. I was trying to.
That's more of a fucking thief.
No, this was early on too. Early on. Yeah, I was just talking to like his dad, and I was like, "What are you celebrating?" He goes, "My 85th birthday." I'm like, "That's cool." And he's like, "My 60th anniversary." I'm like, it's great. You're Italian. You don't even need Viagra." And the guy's like, "What are you talking about? Fucking my mother?" Like real Ginzo. And I'm like, "Oh, Christ. No, I'm not. I'm talking about your dad." And he's like, "No, I think you were talking about fucking my mother." And he goes, "I'm gonna fucking kill you dead." I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm like, everybody, it was 400 people. I go, you all heard this, right? And he stands up and he pulls the shirt up and he had a piece.
Really?
So as I'm on stage, I'm doing a joke about my phone. I'm texting the booker in the back. I'm like, have my money ready. I texted him from the stage. And I did the joke. I walked through the crowd and I just turned my head. And this guy got up. And he was following me. I'm like, oh, shit. And I ran through the crowd. I grabbed the money, and I got right in my car and flew. There's been some hecklers that are great. I remember one show, and this was just divine intervention. That's the only way I could describe it. Thursday, I lost the crown in my tooth. Right, had to go put a temporary in. I go out to Long Island, and there was this drunk bitch just sitting in the front of the stage with a foot on the stage. And I go, ma'am, can you just take your foot off the stage? No, I paid a ticket. I'm like, all right, you paid a ticket for the seat, not for your foot on the stage. So then she won't stop talking. I'm like, ma'am, I already asked you, stop talking, please. No, she wants to be the center of attention. Now she's talking, and I feel something move in my mouth. And I'm like, this fucking crown's going, right? And she won't stop talking, and it falls out. And I just take it out, and I go, your voice is so horrible, you're making my fucking teeth fall out. And that was it. The place erupted, and she stormed out. But I've had some hecklers that are, they can add to a show, but some of them, you got to shut them down or ignore them. That's the main thing. They want to be heard. They want to throw up punchlines to the fucking end of a joke. You know what I mean? It's just horrible, shitty people. You know what I mean?
In a professional manner.
No.
But in like the first 2 seconds, I'm gonna wreck this person.
Yeah, like I throw out simple lines too. Like if it's a broad who's just being lippy, I'll say to her husband, like, do you like blowjobs? And you'll be like, oh, I love them. I'd like, yeah, you don't have to hear that fucking voice for 10 minutes. Like just like stupid, shitty, hacky shit. But yeah, you try and either address them real quick. I know you want to be a part of the show. Here you go. Here's your 2 seconds. Now I'm moving on. And if they don't, then I berate them.
Yeah.
I'll murder them.
That's my pet peeve. Like when I go see a comedian, is when people are like in the crowd are just like talking. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. You paid to go see a comedian.
See, I feel that like if I was a comedian and I was getting heckled, if I didn't think of something really, really quick, I would automatically resort to, what?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. All right. And it's like, oh, wait. Can't beat up the fucking customers.
Yeah, I know I do. Get paid for it too. It's great.
Are there any new comics out there? Anybody like on your radar?
We're going through a good wave now. There's a lot of really good comics that are out now. Comedy goes in waves, just like music does too. Sometimes you go through a musical period where it's like all garbage and everything sounds the same. But there's a lot of good voices out there now that are really worthwhile.
Who are some of the ones that you like?
I hate everybody, but
if you were
like bigger name, I think Bill Burr is the most important voice in comedy right now. He's amazing. But I have like friends who are starting to break out. If you saw Bumping Mics, Yamanika Saunders, she's a black girl. She's unbelievable. I've worked shows with her before. She's worked for 20 years to get where she is now. There's a lot of, there's so many good ones. I mean, I could tell you names of like friends who I think are really good. Like Mike Racine is a comic from the city that he's just brilliant. Mark Norman, Joe List. And these are guys who are like on Comedy Central now at this point. So
I'm a big Mark Norman fan. I think
Mark's very dry. He's very, very funny guy.
I saw him on Joe Rogan. His voice was so fucking annoying. And then after about 5 minutes, I'm like, I just fell in love with this guy.
Yeah.
His what you said, so dry.
His cadence is very...
Yes, his cadence. But there's always something about him. And then he's on Rogan again. I'm like, I got to listen to it. And I enjoyed the whole interview.
Sure.
But... there's something about his voice that just, like that.
It's actually a very important part of comedy is having a very distinct voice, too. Yeah. Because you can have anybody who just, very mumbling and talking, and like, it's horrible. My voice is not very distinctive, but like my mannerisms are. So there's a lot. I mean, one guy I've been listening to a lot is Joey Diaz.
Coco.
Because he's from here. He's from Jersey too.
Oh God!
I don't know if you saw The Degenerates on Netflix.
Yes, I did.
He said one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard. I was on a plane going to LA, and I had my headphones on, and he's talking about 14-year-old dick and how 14-year-old dick is the greatest dick you'll ever have in your life because it's just always ready to go. And it's like a rock, and it's like you can beat it all you want, and it's never going away. And then he stops, and he goes, why do you think teachers are always sucking 14-year-old dick? And you hear me on the plane going, what? Screaming on the plane. I watched it 10 times, and I still laugh the same amount. And that's a great joke. When you can hear a joke over and over and over again. He's great, though.
He's got...
his podcast is amazing.
The Church of What's Happening Now.
Yeah, something like that.
I think it's called.
He's so twisted.
On Rogan, he's always like, when he gets down and he talks to the mic and he gets like this, and then all of a sudden he's like, I ate a fucking monkey. And then I heard him say that the other day.
Yeah, he's amazing. He has no filter at all.
No.
Which is you have
none.
You can't have a filter in this
and
industry.
He talks, especially where you're from, he talks about North Bergen.
Exactly.
He lived in North Bergen. He grew up there.
He grew up, Union City, right in the same town I did.
Yeah.
So I've reached out to him too. I was like, listen, Union City guy, let me open up for you. He goes, maybe not. I'm like, all right, fuck yourself.
Now, that's a funny thing to bring up as far as I book shows for the band, Rocky book shows for the band. I'm always calling promoters, emailing promoters. We want to open up. Of course, I'll send some songs, whatever it is. As a comic, same shit. Oh, I want to open up for...
No, not at all. No, that doesn't work that way.
Okay.
It's still the same thing as trying to book people. If you think that band promoters and band bookers are the scum of the earth, they are angels.
That bad, huh?
Comedy bookers.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. And listen, I'm blessed in the fact that I know a bunch of comedy bookers that are great and who are amazing, and those are the ones I work for. The ones that I don't work for are garbage. And it's just hard. Like, you don't get to pick who you want to open for. That's like, if I, hopefully make it big. Just whatever. If I start playing not arenas, but like bigger theaters and stuff like that, I pick my own opener.
Okay.
Unless I had a management company who was like, listen, we want this person. But comedy's great like that. And just like bands are too. Like, you guys can hook up with another band that you really like and book a couple shows together. That's what I do now. Like, if I book anything, I have 5 people who I work with. So I know I'll call them, hey, look, I'm headlining this show. Are you free this night? I want you to open. I want you to host, whatever. That's how that kind of works.
Got it.
But I have reached out to people and say, hey, listen, if you need an opener, I'm free. And once in a while it works. But not often.
Gotta go through managers. Like, you can't
most of the guys have their own steady opener too. Like, there's a club in Connecticut I want to play at Mohegan Sun, and I can't headline there. I'm just not that level yet, Yeah. But I said, listen, I'll feature any weekend you want, and 90% of the headliners bring their own feature. So when I headline for a weekend, I can say I'm bringing my own feature with me, so they don't book anybody else. It's very different. Very, very different.
I got a couple fucking club owners, some fucking promoters that I have on a list. Like, what was that, Billy Madison on my wall?
Oh, yeah.
I want to fuck some owners up, bro.
Oh, yeah. No joke.
Yeah.
There's some that just can't even look me in the eye anymore. Because, like, I've asked for the bump to headline some rooms that I crush in, and they won't do it. So I'm like, I'm out fucking working for you then.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like look down at myself or like devalue what I do because you have some sort of inflated ego that you have to hold the fucking pen. You know what I mean? No, it's bullshit. Make your show a better show.
And you have like a crazy schedule. I mean you're like booked out. And you book it all yourself, which is pretty impressive. So
I do. I'm happy with that, but I'm also getting to the point now where people are contacting me, which I'm very blessed for. And sometimes I got to turn down work because I'm already booked. I'll never cancel a show. If I commit to it, that's it. So if I committed to a show where I'm making $100 for a 20-minute spot and somebody offered me $1,000 to headline it, I'm still doing a $100 show. I'm a man of my word, so I'm not going to ever cancel anybody. It was one show I should have. And I was doing some like little dinky place in Tom's River for like $25.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call from Nick DiPaolo. Can you open for me tonight in an hour? And I'm like, no, I can't.
You fucked up.
I fucked up. I should have just bailed and flew up to Pennsylvania. But you guys just got to be a good person. That's the one thing I tell everybody. I don't care what kind of material you have. Be a good person, because there's so much shit in this industry. Like, just venomous, dirty, disgusting shit that you have to go through. Just be a good person and it'll come back to you.
Tell us about the first cruise you're doing. That's pretty exciting.
I'm leaving out next week. I got hired privately from a booker who's an amazing booker.
Okay.
Who books me in Eastern Connecticut at least once a month. So I'm traveling 3 hours each way at least once a month for this guy. He's a great guy. His name is Franco. He booked me privately to do his cruise. So I'm only doing 2 shows, 20 minutes a piece. I'm leaving out of Miami.
How many days?
It's a 7-day cruise. I'm working 2 days for 20 minutes each.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, it's going to be horrible. I don't know what I'm going to do in Belize.
You're not gonna get your fucking luggage.
Basically.
By the time you do this.
Yeah, we're flying to Miami, and we're on the water on Saturday. I do a show, and then we dock. No, we're flying on Saturday, and I'm on the water Sunday, do a show. Then, like, Monday and Tuesday, we're in Mexico. Wednesday, we're in Honduras. Thursday, we're in Belize.
I feel so bad.
Yeah, that sounds like shit,
all
Sean.
My meals, all my drinks are free. It's a horrible life. And then I'm on the water Friday. I do another show for like 20 minutes. And then I go back on land eventually, but it's fun. Different. I haven't done one yet, so it's going to be interesting.
It'd be pretty funny. His second show, he just gets hammered. He just, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Well, you know what's weird is like I do fly off the cuff a lot. So like now I really have to write out 2 20-minute sets. So I'm not doing the same shit the first night and then the second night. So that's going to be a little bit of work, but not much at all. But
that's cool though, man.
It's fun.
For,
it's fun.
You're not up and coming. You're a little, you're higher than that, I would say.
Look, if you go A to Z, I'm kind of like a W at this point. Like I'm not an M yet.
Yes,
I'm not an M, but I'm getting there.
But that's pretty cool though. Like to do a cruise, because you get hired for a special event like that. That's so
it's fun. It's fun.
Someone values your talent.
Yes.
So that's the main important thing.
Yeah, and I've done like casinos and stuff for weeks, and that's another thing too. Like a lot of people take a long time to get to that level. I have a very different course that I took. Like I said, I met a lot of good people. I hung out with the good people. I worked with what I'm doing, and opportunities came, so I just took them. I was doing casinos at like 7 years in, doing a week at the Borgata. It was unheard of. And a lot of people gave me a lot of shit for it too. Like, you don't deserve that. Well, no, maybe you're right, but I'm doing it. So who gives a shit?
Deserve it. Go fuck yourself.
I fell in that stage too. I did. I fell the Borgata too. I totally did. I totally went ass over feet.
What happened?
So it was this guy. It was a great headliner. His name is Greg Morton. No relation. He's black.
Okay.
He's on America's Got Talent last year or 2 years ago. One of those shows. Does impressions. So he does like a James Brown impression at the end. So he was like, "Can you help me out?" Here's what I do. I drop the cape, and then I run back. So I want you to pick up the cape, put it on, and escort me out. We got to do that 2 times, and then the third time you drag me off. I'm like, all right. So the first night, I'm wearing my Chucks. I always wear Chucks on stage, no matter what. I have like 30 pairs. That's my thing. Okay. So I wear Chucks on a Saturday or Sunday night. So Monday comes, my whole family comes down. So they want to see the show. They're all in the front row. I'm like, let me get a little dressed up. I wore boots, but they had really slick. There was nothing underneath. They were like $400 boots that I got for free. So like I'm bringing them out, and then I go back the third time and put the cape on them. I'm dragging them off, and as I'm dragging backwards, I actually right to the curtain. I'm like, I'm going down. And I felt it. And he's a big dude. Like he's like 6 foot, probably over 250 pounds. He's a big dude. Yeah. And I just lost it. And my wife said, all you saw was your little fat legs in the air. Just dangling. And the next day I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. He goes, what do you mean sorry? I'm like, did you think I planned that? He goes, you didn't plan that? I go, dude, I'm like 350 pounds. We never plan to fall, okay? We never do that. My whole life flashed before my eyes, man. You have no... Sister Maria from 7th grade, I saw her as I was going down. He was like, oh, can we do that again? I'm like, no, we can't do that again. Absolutely not.
Great.
Yeah, I fall everywhere. It sucks. The Rec Room. The Cove in Roselle. Remember that place?
Holy shit.
A little dive in the bowling alley.
Wasn't half of that non-alcoholic for some reason?
It was non-alcoholic because they lost a liquor license, so they made it into a place, into a performance place.
Yeah. I was there, and I felt like I was going to play there, but something fell through. But I would have never ever thought of that place in 1,000 years until you just said that.
Yeah. Where was your first gig? Like what was your first place you played your first gig in a band?
The first time I ever played in a band was the Bloomfield High School talent show.
I don't mean that shit. I mean like as an adult. I did fucking high school talent shows too, but I mean like as a band.
He just took away my fucking. You would have loved what I played. Can I just tell you what I played?
Didn't you play that one man show in the back of that guy's bicycle shop?
The dildo hut?
That mouse is naked, Dudley.
We opened up with a typo negative, and we went into through and through for our high schoal talent show. Nobody. That was 1997 in Bloomfield, where Wu-Tang ruled, which is fine, but they didn't know what the fuck we were playing.
High school talent show we did Panama by Van Halen, Three Little Pigs by Green Jello,
Nice.
Cats in the Cradle by Ugly Kid Joe, and something. Oh, Rockin' in the Free World by Neil Young.
That's great.
Yeah, but I'm a little older than you, so I can
Not
go.
much.
Well, you look older, but I'm a little older.
Where was our first gig? 'Cause I probably played
Together, our first gig was, I want to say, Connections.
Connections in Clifton.
Mine was at Images in Fairview.
I played there once. There's a pillar in the middle of the fucking room.
Yes.
It's by my uncle's house, Fairview.
Horrible place.
Well, horrible.
I remember though the booker. She was an old lady, and I didn't know who she was. And I was at the bar, and I saw this blonde from behind who had this smoking. I'm like, look at the ass on this woman, right? And she had this tight red dress on, and she turned around, and she looked like the crypt keeper from Tales from the Crypt. Like she was like 85 years old. I never felt so horrible about myself in my life. Like I had half a hard on. Look at this girl's ass, and she turned around, and I got a full hard on.
There was a place on 41st. I swear it's called Siberia. There was a red light above a door. You know, like those lights with the cage around the light bulb?
Yeah.
All right. So
You know you made it when you play in the basement of a place that has no fucking sign and looks like you wouldn't.
So we show up there and we pass it like 5 times. I'm like, Rock, I don't, you know.
I think I was saying go home at that point.
we were playing with another fellow band called Hello Eden, if you remember them from so we get there and I'm like, this has to be the fucking place. I bang on the door opens. Transvestite opens the door.
Yummy.
I look at him, her.
Archie said
I was
score.
like, this is gonna be a great fucking night. I go,
Both the parts I like, tits and a cock.
I look and I go, it has to be the wrong place, right? Immediately, right? Over his or her shoulder, little fucking silhouette, like there's a little silhouette I see over there. There's a
Pronouns, okay?
her, him, her, they. There's a chalkboard, low down. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, oh god. I'm like, we're the band. Come on in, sugar. I'm like, all right.
I forgot you were in that band.
Yeah, yeah.
I was afraid, like ordering a bottle of beer there.
Really?
Like that's how it was. I can't picture the biggest shithole in the world, and that was worse.
Wow.
So the one key factor from that night. Now I plugged my amp into the wall. My fist went through the wall. Whatever, right? We played a gig.
It turned the transvestite on.
All you smelled was the subway, New York subway.
Oh, I love that.
Right? We leave. We're home. We're in Jersey. Game over. Rock, what's up? Did you get my guitar?
Oh.
You got your guitar. I go, you're telling me I left my fucking guitar at this fucking hellhole? I left my guitar at this place called Siberia. All right, fast forward.
I love how it's. Did I get your guitar?
You're a fucking singer. You don't do anything. You got a microphone. So I call up, and for you people out there, if
No
you
way
even
they
know
have a
this
fucking
place,
phone. There's no way they had a fucking phone.
Big Mike runs it, owns it, whatever. Big Mike has your guitar. Okay, well, I'm going to come down and get it. Story changes. Sound guy took your guitar home. Don't worry, we got it. Sound guy took your I didn't pick up my guitar
Only masturbated on it once.
for 6 months. I didn't get my guitar for 6 months. I finally get in cahoots with the fucking guy. I'm coming down. Is Big Mike there? Big Mike's not here. I'm sitting there. There's nobody in his bar. I'm getting like, what is that PTSD? I'm looking at this fucking place. I'm like, I feel like there's a tits and cock coming at me from somewhere. So I'm sitting there and I'm like,
With your mouth open.
This is crazy.
I go, where's my guitar? Like, where's like whatever. It wasn't even an expensive guitar, but it, I liked
yours.
it. I hear this voice behind me. Hey, how you doing? Hey, can I get a drink? And I'm like, I know that voice. And I turn around and I'm like, Jimmy Fallon. What the fuck is Jimmy Fallon doing in this fucking bar?
No shit.
And I look and I'm like, it's me, Jimmy Fallon, 2 of his friends, and that's it. Maybe the training's in the back, I don't know. But Big Mike and my guitar's not here, I know that. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, this just got better. Now they like kind of like Jimmy Fallon's like goes to bar there, hey, it's Big Mike. I'm like, so there is a Big Mike. So I'm waiting another 15 minutes. I'm like, all right, well, this is cool. So they go to like another area. Now, of course, if it was crowded, I can kind of like, flow by their crew or whatever.
Sure.
There's nobody in there. So I'm like walking towards the crew like, hey, how you doing? Big Mike shows up with the guitar. I get the guitar and I'm like, oh, I want to stay with Jimmy Fallon. But that was about it. That was cool.
Does he tell these long-winded stories on like road gigs and stuff too?
Well, sometimes I tell him, I say, great story. Do me a favor, tonight.
Have a point? Have a point?
Call me at 11:45 so I can go to fucking sleep. And just tell me the story again.
This is the best part about doing these kind of things. So when you do it with your friends, you just berate them and get away with it.
That's all we have.
And it's recorded forever, and you can always play it back and listen to it all over again. It's
I
awesome.
can't wait to tell my mom this is what I do on the weeknights.
Oh. What a trip. So are you guys going to the studio anytime soon?
We just wrote 3 songs with Tim. With Tim, if the people out there, Tim is part of our band War for the Crown. Just throw that out there.
Yes. I've been friends with Tim for 20 years probably.
And I know you through Tim.
Yeah.
I never, yes. So Tim is our
6 degrees of separation.
Yes. We have 3 or 4 songs recorded, and I think we're going to go into the recording studio, record those, have another 3, record them. We're not fucking signed. We're just going to do it as,
just do it for fun, man,
doing
and
it for
put
fun.
it out. And like I was
We
saying,
have a great time.
I was saying before too. I just started a new podcast with a friend, another comedian, Jeffrey Paul. We're calling it "Who's Your Band." So comics are like this. Like we'll sit around and we'll bullshit all the time, and there's so many comedy podcasts that are just doing that, just bashing each other.
Yeah.
And after a while, it's like, all right, we get it, get to the point, just say something funny. But we both love music, so we decided we wanted to do a music podcast and still bring comics on or musicians or whatever. And then we have the little comedic element to it. But what we do is we talk about the person's history. Like I would interview you, ask you like where you grew up, who would you listen to when you were growing up, and then who was that one band that just you sunk your teeth into. And I know who yours is because yours is the same as mine too.
Goddamn right.
But so it's a little different. But I think I said to you, I want you guys to record our theme song. Like I want a theme song for this because what we're doing now is we're doing little clips every week for something for every different guest. But I want a steady theme song, and I want War for the Crown to do it.
Yeah, we would be honored to do it.
It's gonna be awesome.
My question is, why don't you want the theme song to be good?
Don't you hate the singer? Isn't the singer always a dick?
Club promoters and singers are my nemesis.
I was a singer too.
Fucking hate singers.
We all suck. Egomaniacs.
I can't. You want to know why? You're all good people. God bless. But sometimes you just need the guitar player just to think. Well, we'll do the thinking. We'll do the writing.
Oh, no, I did all that.
No, I
Listen, if I didn't have that band, I wouldn't be where I am now. I owe everything to that band.
Do you feel that band kickstarted your stage confidence?
One song started everything, and I tell this story. I won't tell the cunt's name, but I wrote a love song to this girl, and I showed it to her, and she was like, "This is a great song," and I'm like, "Wow, it's about you." And I never saw her again. So that love song brought out rage, and I started writing these angry, dark shit. And I was like, you know what? I gotta do something with this, and I put it in the paper. I met my guitar player, and we started writing some stuff, and then we found a drummer, found a bass player, started jamming. Then we did the band. Band just broke up. We didn't have any hard feelings. It was just like 4 different things happened in the same week. We were like, all right, we're done. Yeah. But if I didn't have that one song, I wouldn't have started my band. The band wouldn't have broken up. I wouldn't have had all this creativity just flowing out of me that had to get out some way. I found comedy and...
What pushed you towards comedy, though?
I always loved comedy. Ever since I was a little kid, I would go out and I would buy, like I can remember going out and buying Guns N' Roses Appetite and then buying 2 Red Fox tapes the same day. I vividly remember that. So it was always 1 for 1. I always loved stand-up, but I never ever thought I would do it. Never. Like I was socially retarded. Like I was an introvert. I didn't have a lot of friends. Like I had friends, but like I was up at 2:31 club. School was over at 2:30. By 2:31, I was on the bus going home. Like I didn't hang out after school. I was a loner, you know. But comedy was always there, always watched on TV. Like if it was on, that's what I was watching. So it always stuck in the back of my head, and something just sparked, and that was it.
Comedy albums.
Favorites. Andrew Dice Clay. I can recite every word to every Dice Clay album ever. My favorite comic of all time is Chris Rock. So Bigger and Blacker, Never Scared. Those are fantastic. Anything by Don Rickles or Sam Kinison. I like older stuff too. It's like Joan Rivers, I think, is one of the greatest comics ever to live. And Don Rickles are my two favorites. Mitch Hedberg was phenomenal, way ahead of his time.
I fucking love Mitch.
Amazing. I'm heartbreaking that he died because he just did set up punchline for an hour. Like you don't have any idea how much writing this guy did.
Like a Dangerfield type shit.
Ridiculous. Because I do stories. So like I could drag that shit out for 5-6 minutes.
Exactly.
But like he would do 50 jokes in that 5 minutes.
I don't know how you can remember like each thought.
And be on ridiculous drugs while doing it too. Yeah. You know? Doug Stanhope, another great comic. There's so many amazing comedy albums.
Every time Don Rickles was, being interviewed Tonight Show or whatever, even like, a couple of years ago before he passed away, I would have to watch him. Just
some of the
even him losing it, he had it.
Just like, little things like if you watch a Dean Martin roast when he kisses Sammy Davis Jr. on the cheek and then he wipes his lips off and says, "I don't want it to get stuck on me." Just like little things, you couldn't get away with that shit now. And he was brilliant. I mean, if you watch him on the old Tonight Show clips, I mean, I'm in tears.
You just read my mind. Like that's where like my first introduction to him was the Tonight Show.
Oh my god!
And that's like regular TV.
Yeah.
Like, and you're laughing your ass off.
Yeah, but it's done. That's done. It's completely done. We're in a different cancel culture now. We don't have that freedom.
Well, speaking of that, we actually, I don't want to cut you off, but I mean that's like one thing that we like talked about. We feel like cancel culture has taken the balls out of comedy. People are afraid to fuck up. They're afraid to say something that's going to be like the slightest bit like risque or. I
address it every show. I say, look, you're here for a joke. You're here because your lives suck. You have nowhere else to be, right? You guys are all miserable and you're married and you have kids and mortgages and your pubes are turning gray and your fucking life is horrible. Come in here, leave your shit outside. Don't be offended at what I say because it's all a joke. Yeah. And I actually feel like I have to preface that now in these days because there's some people who are just so uptight. Yep. It just ruins everything. It just really does ruin everything. This cancel culture is absolutely atrocious.
I mean, we talked about that, what Dave Chappelle said in his last special.
Sticks and Stones.
See, I hated that special.
Really?
Fucking hated it. I thought it was lazy.
Really?
I thought it was lazy. Yeah, I didn't like it.
I thought it was pretty funny.
And I'm talking about the great god of comedy, but I personally didn't like it at all. There were so many great specials that came out that year, and everybody was like, "This is the greatest special of all time." Bullshit. Ellen DeGeneres' special was 1,000 times better than that.
No shit.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Adam Sandler, who I can't stand, his special was better than him.
But you did say it though, obviously, right? The LGBTQ, the fucking.
He took a lot of shit for that joke.
That's a good joke.
It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. It was a good joke, but he took a lot of shit for that joke. Oh. And I think I hit the nail on the head with that. Mm-hmm. I think he wants to blow a tranny. Like, I think that's why he did that joke. Because, Eddie Murphy was known for that. Eddie Murphy would fuck around with trannies all the time in the 90s. He got caught with one in his car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what it was. It's a little bit of a fear. Making a little tingle in his pants when he saw one, I think. I don't know.
In my day, blowing a tranny was car trouble.
Fucking hack. Oh, man.
Wedlocked with wife Giovanna.
Yeah, what about it?
Please. I caught a couple of those episodes.
Did you?
And I like your guys' chemistry.
So, all right, here's the deal.
Where did this come from?
I didn't do anything original. It was the Honeymooners. That's all it was. It was classic Honeymooners. Blowhard husband thinks he's the king of the castle. Wife always gets the last word. That's how I wrote it. I wrote the script every single week, and we had a great time doing it. It was a lot of fun, and then it started getting a little momentum, and then fucking assholes started coming out of the woodwork. And I was just talking about this tonight. I actually got an email from a guy in Kentucky who said, I wouldn't let my wife talk to me like that. If she ever did, I'd punch her right in the mouth. And I'm like, you realize, like, I wrote the script for this, right? I don't care. You shouldn't have written it that way. The man's a man, and you shouldn't. And I was like, you know what? I kind of lost it after that. And I was just like, you know what? It wasn't as fun anymore. I might bring it back. I don't know. Yeah. But I have something else in mind.
Okay.
I kind of wrote the idea today. Stand-up comic, sit-down therapist.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask the questions and I would answer how a therapist would answer them and how a piece of shit comic would handle it on the flip side. Right. So I'm gonna work on some of those, but I got a couple other things that are in the works right now.
Well, I caught a couple of the episodes and I enjoyed the banter back and forth.
Well, I wrote it.
Your wife looked like she was having a good time.
She was very good. She was very, very good. I mean, we even did it when she was going through her cancer surgery and through chemo and stuff too. So it was kind of like a way to.
I haven't seen you in a while, but I caught one of the episodes and I was like, oh, he's got a little peanut head with a shaved head.
Oh, I hated it, but you have to listen. You have to do it. Of course. You know, I mean, we did it before the chemo. It was like a solidarity thing. I was growing my hair long too. Like it was the first time in my life I was actually trying to. It looked fucking disgusting too, but
yeah.
I shaved it off. But like we made light out of it too. You know, like she went through some shit. You know,
of course.
And like I remember there was one episode she wore a white T-shirt. She drew boobs on the friggin' shirt. Like you got to make fun of it. But we had so much support through that whole ordeal. Just from people from that show.
Yeah.
People would send gift baskets to my house.
Oh, that's very nice.
I had a fan who was like, my sister went through chemo and she knows how hard it was when the light would hit her. She sent her a gift card for like $300 to get sunglasses. Like I have amazing fans. I really do. And a lot of them have become friends. Like truly, they're actual true friends, you know? And that they came out of the woodwork during that. So I really did appreciate that.
Good. That's awesome, man.
I saw you did a roast of Chuck Wepner, the Bayonne bleeder.
Oh my God, what a fucking disaster that was. All right, it wasn't a disaster, but the problem was I produced it. So I handled it from soup to nuts. And I was working with a guy, and I love the guy to death. His name is Bruce Dillon, and I hope he listens to it because he's a cunt. So he's my mechanic. But he's Chuck Wepner's PR guy. So like we were having like arguments daily about like what he wanted to do. And I'm like, look, you're hiring me to produce this. You're gonna have a Friars Club Dean Martin roast. That's how we're gonna do it. And he'd be like, I want to have a midget. I'm like, you're not having a midget. Well, I want to have a guy come out in a bear costume. That ain't happening either, But it turned out we had like 270 people. We had Larry Holmes, Bobby Ches, boxers. Liev Schreiber, who plays Ray Donovan, who played Chuck in the movie, came down.
Really?
And he just came down, hung out. We had dinner. We exchanged phone numbers. Like we've texted back and forth. That's like the great phone number in my phone. You know what I mean? But it did turn out well. But I understood like the whole different aspect of producing something like that, and that's a big nut. The audio, the video, the seating, the setting. I wrote for 3 people. I wrote for the mayor. I wrote for Mayor Bayonne. I wrote for the guy Bruce. I wrote my stuff.
But you have to make sure your shit's funnier than their stuff, though, right?
And that check was fucking big. That's all I'm saying. I didn't even make sure I deposited the night of so we didn't cancel the check.
Do me a favor. You want to go to McDonald's? We're going to go to the bank first. That's fine. So what's some good comedy clubs around the area?
Comedy clubs in the area.
As far as that you
in Jersey
that you love playing
in Jersey?
Yes.
I don't do too many clubs in Jersey. I work more in Pennsylvania and Connecticut than I do anywhere else. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean, there's only a few clubs in Bananas and Hasbrook Heights. I mean, I work there once a year. Great people. I mean, Stress Factory is a great club in New Brunswick. Catch a Rising Star. I headline there in Princeton. Those are the 3 main ones. There's other ones that are they pop up clubs and stuff like that, but. There's some good places. There's a lot of good one-off rooms too that you can catch a really, really good show too.
Have you ever traveled to West Coast?
Yeah, I did shows at the Laugh Factory in Vegas.
Okay.
Last January. I did shows out in LA, but that was a long time ago. But yeah, now I'm going to be on the road, so Going to Iowa in September. Yeah.
So how do you book a show at a club in Iowa, being a Jersey boy?
Well, that one's a little different. He's the guy who books me at the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. So they're based. He only books the Hard Rock in Atlantic City, a club in Iowa because they're based in Iowa, and his big one is he books the Impractical Jokers. So that's little money. That's a little money. Yeah. But yeah, sometimes it's just word of mouth. You know, I booked a club in Ohio tonight. You know. It's just like bands. I've been sending emails for 6 years. 6 years to get a weekend. And I finally called the guy. I texted the guy. I go, I need your phone number. Like I was on Facebook. I go, I need your phone number. I need to talk to you. No one's answering emails for 6 years. Give a number in 30 seconds. Had a 2-minute conversation. I booked the show. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, 6 years of this shit. That's all I had to do.
Well, people have to go through.
It's horrible. Just to make a few. Make a few bucks.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook Hard Rock treated you very well.
Hard Rock's the best gig I've ever done. They're amazing people. They just put you up in the Hard Rock. They feed you. You know, if you're a guitar player, you go right to the concierge
and say, I saw. This is what I was trying to get at.
I play guitar. He sent a guitar to my room. They go, oh, look at the menu first. They give you a fucking menu. Here, you want a Strat? You want a Telecaster? It's all Fender stuff. So you want a Strat? You want a Telecaster? Bring an amp. Bring headphones. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Just amazing.
Yeah, just go hang out.
20 minutes a day. Go back in my room, play guitar for 6 hours, get some free food, go back to sleep.
Oh, that's such a great time.
Yeah.
Good for you, pal. I love that you're doing it, man.
So do I.
I mean, I give you a lot of credit, and I'm very happy for you. And
I appreciate that. It's a lot of hard work. Just like I know the grind, dude. I know the grind what you guys go through. I still am in these situations too, where like, you know, you pour your heart out into writing this stuff and you're playing it for 10 people. You know, it's not always 1,000 people at a casino. There's still days where it's 10 people in the friggin', you know, attic of a bar in Montclair. You know, I get it. It's still a grind, you know, but we love what we do.
But where we give you the credit is, it's like, so you're a professional comedian. This is right now. This is what you're doing.
Yeah,
so it's like, it's like, this is your craft. You're going out there. You're doing it. It's, you know, this is what's gonna separate you from your bill collectors and your
break me.
Yeah. That's it. But the amount of balls that takes to do that is pretty impressive.
Look, I have to put a lot of faith in myself. You know, and I know what I can do, and now I just gotta make sure that people see it. So we're gonna see where it goes.
We were talking. We're definitely coming to see you at TIFF's in April.
Yes, because that's a door deal, and I need to sell that place out so I can pay my rent.
Absolutely.
we will make sure.
It's a great show. It's gonna be a great.
We will make sure that everybody that we know, knows about it, and hopefully comes out. That's
Friday, April 10th.
Friday, April 10th at TIFF's in Cedar Knolls, right?
Close. Mars Plains.
Mars Plains?
Do me a favor. When you get to Cedar Knolls, make a left.
Yeah. It's only 4 highways apart. It's fine.
A friend of mine knows the guy who runs that place, and I hear it's an awesome place. All our Jersey peeps, hopefully come out. We're definitely going to be there.
Absolutely.
That's your first time there?
Yeah, I don't know if you ever listened to the Stern Show. My friend Reverend Bob Levy, he was a regular on the Stern Show. He's booking it, and he was like, I said, look, I need a date. He goes, done. Next day, call me with a date. And I was like, this is great. So it's my show. I booked the other comics. So awesome. And the guys supposedly it's a great room. I haven't been there yet. They've only been doing it a couple months, but I heard really great things about it, and we're gonna sell this place out without a doubt. So I'm putting all my eggs in that basket for that show.
Good. If I was, and I'm not, if I was an up-and-coming comic, some advice you would give to me?
2 topics, 5 minutes. 2 topics. Start with that. And work that 5 minutes and make it good. And once it's good, add a minute. And then add another minute. But just keep working at it. And you should always be on stage. Every night of the week. There's always somewhere for you to get up. For open mics. There's an open mic every night of the week. Keep working at it.
So tell us what you think the difference is between somebody who's like funny with their friends or at work.
Oh, there's a huge difference.
And somebody who's on stage.
Oh, water cooler. I call it the water cooler. They're great at the water cooler, making jokes and shit like that. But it's a huge difference. That's like saying, I go to karaoke. I can sing and I can sing anywhere. Okay, go sing karaoke in front of 400 people at Starland before you're opening up for freaking Hell Yeah, right? And then put them on and see what they do. They're going to shit their pants. It's the exact same thing. I've seen you on stage. You carry yourself. You rock that shit. Your bass player sucks. But besides that, no, there's a whole difference. You know, it's again, it's learning your craft. It's getting the confidence, getting your chops up, getting good, getting, you know, constantly getting up and working at it, and you see the difference.
I mean, I find it interesting. You said it's like it took you how many? You said 7 to 10 years in before you really found your voice and honed your craft.
Yeah, like I was always comfortable, but like again, you hit a point.
That's weird because Rocky's been singing for 20. He hasn't found shit yet.
But I'm hoping this year is the
This year he's gonna find his voice.
Hopefully his balls will drop. He'll finally get his voice right.
Yeah.
No, comedy takes a good 5 to 10 years, and I was right at about 8 or 9, and I started to feel like I was there, and now it's just like the confidence level is always it's always there. Like sometimes it's a little too confident, but it takes a while.
I mean, I can say, and I speak, I mean, we're not like the fucking, you know, the comedy authority, but I mean, the set that we saw you play that you thought wasn't a great set, we're like, this guy's a fucking pro, dude. It was really good. It's not blowing smoke. It was like you handled, even when the 68-year-old said he can't talk to his wife anymore.
Hope that fucking guy died.
You're like, tonight I'm quitting. You're like, fuck this, I'm quitting.
I'm just done. That's how I was going out.
It was.
But you want to know what? The funny part of that night was actually those type of situations happening to you and how you handle it. The whole crowd was laughing, and even your peers that I saw.
Well, they were always going to laugh.
They were.
It's fucking better. It's good for them.
Exactly.
So, Sean, where could the people out there find you?
So just go on Facebook, Sean Morton. That's where I post everything. My website's up, SeanMortonComedy.com. All my dates are current. The one thing I really want to plug is the new podcast. I'm really happy with it. It's very different than what most comics are doing. I love it. It's a music podcast called Who's Your Band. Just check it out on iTunes, Spotify. We've had 3 episodes so far and great responses. I got Don Jameson from That Metal Show coming on next week.
Awesome.
We got some big names. I can't announce them yet, but I got some big names coming in March.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Sean, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Brother. Appreciate it, man.
So that was an awesome closeout to our second episode. Our first guest, Sean Morton. We can't thank him enough. It was such an awesome interview. If I say awesome one more time, I'm probably going to punch myself in the face. Check him out at SeanMortonComedy.com for all his future dates. So with that being said, Rock, do you have anything, my man, anything left to say?
If your life is risky and you're sipping whiskey, about to get frisky with Monica Lewinsky, then you're listening to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
We out.